Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I originally had a different video to go up today and I needed to reschedule that one for a couple of reasons, and I was at a loss of what I was going to film in place of that. So I posted on my Instagram stories whether or not y'all wanted to see. It was like a flash question. I only had it up for a couple of hours. And I was like, it was a poll. I said, do y'all want to see an all drugstore affordable look? Because I know I don't do a ton of those on my channel. Or do you want to see the best setting powders for every occasion, every foundation type, so on? It was so close, okay? It was 52% said the affordable drugstore and 48% said the setting powders. So do not fret if you are the one that voted for the powders. It is coming, I promise. I already have that all figured out. Everything's set out and ready to film, but the drugstore did win. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna pull my hair back and we're gonna get ready to put on some makeup. So I don't necessarily think any of this stuff is actually like brand new by any means. It's just drugstore products that I have in my collection already. And I also put up a poll a few days ago of what y'all wanted to see more of on my channel, and tutorials won out over everything by a pretty large percentage. So this is kind of like a tutorial slash all drugstore look. So here we go. I've done my brows and primed my eyes. The brows that I use, it's not drugstore, but it's very affordable, and it's from Beauty Pie. It's their brow pencil. I know this is kind of cheating. I don't have a corrector from the drugstore. I used to have one from Essence and I ended up giving it to a friend of mine, but I do like the Essence brighteners. If you have any favorite correctors from the drugstore, be sure to share them with everybody. I just don't have any currently, so I'm using my Clinique Airbrush Concealer, and I'm kind of using this as a corrector. It's in Light Honey. Now, for foundation, I have quite a few favorite foundations from the drugstore. One that I have talked about, I think on Instagram, I feel like I used it on Instagram in one of my weekly Get Ready With Me's, but I can't remember, is the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. I know so many people, like this, I guess, was big on TikTok. Y'all, I'm not on TikTok. I just can't bring myself to start on another social channel. I haven't gotten there yet. So I don't know what goes on TikTok, but apparently it went crazy there and you couldn't find it for the longest time. And so I know that a ton of people have used this and talked about it. I am in the shade number 3 for light medium, but then I also, this is like an oldie but a goodie, has never let me down. And I just recently, I say recently, it was like in November, purchased this again. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. I love this stuff so much. And I'm in the shade 104 Golden Beige. So I thought, you know what, I've never done this, but let's mix it. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take a little bit of each and see how that works out. The light medium in the tinted, what do they call this again? Tinted serum is definitely more neutral than the Pro Matte. And if you haven't tried the Infallible Pro Matte because it's got matte in the name and you're like, oh, I just don't wanna, you know, maybe I have dry skin, it's not really gonna work for me, I would still say give it a try. The Pro Glow I did not like as much as the Pro Matte. It didn't look as good on my skin for some reason. It's been a long time since I've used it, so I can't remember exactly why. I just remember not liking it as much. And this is like a very old BH Cosmetics brush. I don't even know, it just says number 2. I have no idea what set it came with, but as far as affordable brushes, because I get asked this a lot, I would say BH Cosmetics and Real Techniques would be like my go-to recommendation for affordable brushes, because I have a lot of them from each brand and I've never been disappointed. They hold up really well as long as you take care of them, wash them properly. You can have very good quality brushes without having to invest a ton of money. I am liking that combination a lot. Now, obviously you don't need to go out and buy 2 different foundations to mix them, but a lot of y'all might already have these. It's always fun to mix and find new favorite combinations. If you do have, you know, a drier skin type, I would definitely go with the tinted serum. And if you have more normal to combination to oily, I would go with the Pro Matte. But again, the Pro Matte still works on dry skin, in my opinion. Well, look at how pretty that combination is. Blended out real easy. I like. Now for concealer, my favorite drugstore concealer, I don't think they make anymore. It's the Revlon Candid. Don't ask me why they took that out, but I love that concealer. If you can still find it, I do love that. But this is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Under Eye Concealer. This is in the shade number 20, which is, if I'm remembering correctly, yeah, it's kind of yellow. So hopefully I'm not making a big mistake here. This is a little bit more like moussey in texture. It's definitely not the most hydrating concealer that I've ever used, but I really like how it wears throughout the day. I tried, I don't know which one it was. One of the newer Maybelline Superstay concealer. I keep wanting to say mascara concealers that came out, and I was not impressed. It was very watery and patchy. This one, the Superstay Activewear, I just was not a fan. Much prefer just the regular Superstay. Now, another favorite of mine from the drugstore, if you have maybe drier under eyes and you don't want or need as much coverage, is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Concealer. I really like this one too, and I'm in the shade, they never make it easy to see what shade you're in. Oh, here we go, Natural Beige, number 215. Let's let all that sink in and move on to the eyes. I have this pink shirt on today, so I thought let's do a little bit of a pink look, because I do feel like when I do drugstore looks, I really gravitate towards warmer ones. I don't know why. I will share with you some of my favorite palettes from the drugstore, and I've shared this a lot, but if you're new, are the Essence palettes. These are I'm calling them the location palettes because they each have either a country or a city as their name, and they're all 9 pans. I do truly wish that they would be 10 because I'm just that person, but really pretty colors, a mixture of matte and shimmer. They're very affordable because they are Essence, but they are also very good quality. And my favorite out of all of them is Hey LA, which I feel like I've used this one the most on my channel because it's just those really pretty peachy, pinky, spring, summer colors. We're not going to use those. I'm going to work out of these 2 little mini palettes. And I know that the bite-size eyeshadow palettes from e.l.f. have been talked about a lot, and it's for good reason. They are very good quality, and they are $3 each. I have 4 of them, but I'm going to be working out of this one the most today, and this is the Berry Bad. So I'm going to take this first shade, which is matte, and apply that in the crease. Again, for $3, even for like $10 for these small palettes, it's really good quality. I would definitely pay more than $3, but it is nice to have such an inexpensive option, especially if maybe you have kids that are just getting into makeup and you're not wanting to spend, you know, an arm and a leg on something. Or if you are at a point where you don't want to spend an arm and a leg, but you still want quality, these are great. Then I'm going to go into this third, more shimmery shade. And this is like a purple berry shade. And I'm going to swipe that all across the lid. Now here's where y'all can come in and help everybody watching, and myself included. I have a few cream shadows from the drugstore, but they are all warm undertone. So if you have some favorite cream eyeshadow formulas or specific colors that you can get from the drugstore, please let us know. And then I pulled this one out. This is the Essence Coffee to Glow eyeshadow palette. I've talked about this before as well, but it is in a cardboard package, and it is just a very nice combination of mostly warm, but then, you know, you've got this cooler tone over here. The only thing I don't like about this is this one down here is kind of trying to be like that Huda Beauty shade in that palette. It's kind of a joke. It's nothing. It's nothing. I kind of just want to cut it out because it's just nothing. But other than that, the shades are beautiful. So I'm going to go into this little bit of a darker, more cool toned rosy shade right there. Now I have no idea if this is going to show up or not, but I'm just going to put just a little bit, oh yeah, on the outer corner. And then I'm going to go into the Cream and Sugar Bite Size palette from e.l.f. and just take this second shade, just a little bit, and tap it in the center of the lid. And while I'm in here, I might as well go into this darkest shade right here and use that as a liner. I'm hoping that the quality of these shadows is coming through. I know most of y'all, if not all of y'all, probably have a couple of these. But if you don't, I wanted to show you how nice they are. Now for powder, I'm actually gonna pull out, honestly, probably don't even need to set this, but I am a powder girl, so I'm going to. And I'm gonna pull out my e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. This stuff is gorgeous. This is in the shade medium. And this is one of my favorite Real Techniques brushes. This is the blush brush, but it works well for blush, bronzer, powder. It's a very versatile brush. And I'm just going to pat that Halo Glow. So I'm really, really impressed with this powder. In fact, you'll probably see it show up in my powder video that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Now for bronzer, I have a couple of favorite bronzers from the drugstore, but I always go back to the OG Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Now they do have different colors in this. I have the deep bronze because I like a bronze. Regular works good too, but I do find that if you are more on the fair side and you have an issue finding bronzers that work for your skin tone, I would check into the original color because I feel like it works really well for more fair skin tones. Because again, this one is deep, and while it definitely shows up nicely, it's not extremely deep on the skin. Y'all, I meant to use this under my foundation. I totally forgot. The Maybelline 4-in-1 Perfector. I have a lot of people say or have said that this is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury. I have to pretty much heavily disagree with that. It is not as full coverage, not full coverage, but doesn't have as much coverage as the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, but it is a very nice sheen without being high shine. And this is the shade Light. So honestly, I thought Light would be lighter than this, but it's not. And it is a very pretty product. I like to use it underneath foundations, and you could definitely use it on top and pat it as a liquid highlight, which I mean, may as well show you what that looks like, and we'll see. I have another highlight that I planned on using, but if you are someone that likes way more natural, this is a very pretty option. And I'll just top it with the other highlight. But my favorite highlight of all time, hands down, I've been talking about this one for years, is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. This is in the shade number 10, Be My Highlight. I have another one that I think has Sun in the name. I can't remember exact, Sunlight maybe, but this is the one that I've had the longest and that I love the most. And honestly, it's fairly natural in and of itself. Like it's coming off way more shiny on the viewfinder. Okay, for blush, I have a few favorites. One of them is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Satin Blush. Very pretty. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to use today, but this is really pretty. This one is in the shade Peony. And then I love the Essence blushes. They're just called the Blush. And these are a couple of shades that I have in those. This is Beloved, and then this one is Befitting, and then Cortland stole my nude one. I can't remember what it was called, but it was very, almost like a bronzery shade. I think I'm gonna use the L'Oreal, and I'm gonna use that same blush brush. This has a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's not super shimmery. It just gives a really pretty reflection to the skin. It's a very light blush, so I'm gonna take a little bit of this Beloved and just put that right on the apples. I'm gonna go back into this Berry Bad and that matte shade that we used in the crease and just buff that underneath. Can you hear Zeus? Our neighbor came to borrow our tractor and Zeus is not having it. He doesn't want to share. And then that same shade from the Cream and Sugar palette that I kind of tapped on the lid, I'm going to use as my inner corner highlight. And then just a little bit on the brow bone. Okay, I don't have a lower lash mascara from the drugstore, so I use my MAC Giga Black Lash. It's just one I use every single day. And then I used my Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pen in Black Noir. I can't even fathom how many I have gone through of these. It is something I use every single day to tight line my upper waterline and give the illusion of thicker lashes. Love it. Don't want to be without it. It's so easy to apply. It doesn't transfer on me and it lasts all day. Now, one of my favorite lash primers is the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer. And I, again, have gone through so many of these. So I'm going to put just a little bit on the lashes. And then we're going to try a mascara for the first time together that I have never used. Out of all the brands at the drugstore, my two favorite for mascara are L'Oreal and Maybelline. I just feel like they consistently make some of the best mascaras. So I have had this in my drawer for a long time, not been opened, so it's still good. And I haven't tried it yet, but this is the L'Oreal Voluminous Original, which way back in the day, this is all I would use, was the L'Oreal Voluminous. But this is in the burgundy shade. So I am very interested to see how this plays out. Hopefully it's not gonna be a huge mistake. I actually really like that. It's a very soft kind of shade and effect to the lashes. It reminds me a lot of, if you're someone who likes a brown mascara, I think you're really gonna like this. And like during the summer when I have really minimal makeup and I just want like a tinted SPF with some lip gloss and mascara, I can envision myself reaching for this because it does give that little bit of a softer effect. But being L'Oreal Voluminous, it still makes your lashes look really great. So I actually really like that, especially with the rest of the colors that we have going on. One of my favorite all-time lipsticks from the drugstore is actually one that I have in my kit. So I pulled out my little lipstick palette to pull it out of that. And it is from L'Oreal and it's called Ferris Nude. Y'all knew I was gonna pick a nude shade. I have used this shade in my kit for many, many, many years. And I just pulled out one of my disposable little lip wands. These are the ones that just come in the original like gold tubes from L'Oreal. But you know I'm a gloss girl. So I'm gonna take this Milani Keep It Full. Now I couldn't find this shade on Ulta, but it is at Walmart, and this is Bare Pink. So it's their kind of plumping lip gloss. And it's just, I don't even know if you'll be able to see, it's just kind of like a milky pink shade, which I love. And you can see how much shine it gives to the lips. So that's it. That is the finished look using all drugstore products. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. Or if you have any specific drugstore products that you want to see me use, try out, look into, maybe lines that you want me to look into, let me know. And I will for sure do that. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. I hope you're all staying happy, healthy, and safe, and that most of all, you go out and have a very blessed day.